Welcome to the city of Pompeii. This is located in the region of Campania in Italy, just a little bit south of Rome, closest to the modern city of Naples. If you were to visit Pompeii today, you would be able to visit the ruins of this ancient Roman city. Because it was buried by a volcano in 79 AD, by the ashes, the ruins of Pompeii were very, very well preserved and have been excavated in recent history. There was no modern city built on top of Pompeii, which makes it easier for archaeologists to excavate and see the ruins. So that if you go to Pompeii today, you'll be able to see some very beautiful ruins there. The population of ancient Pompeii was approximately 10,000 people, which makes it quite a sizable town or city in ancient Rome. You can see in the background of this picture here the volcano which erupted and buried Pompeii in 79. You can see how the city is laid out below this volcano. Several things might attract people to build a city beneath a volcano. One of the most important is the good soil for farming that comes from being underneath a volcano because of all the rich minerals and fertilizers that ash provides to the soil. Another key feature of Pompeii was the harbor for boats, which you can't see in this picture, but is around the other side of the city. This means that Pompeii was a center for trade and commerce, business, among other cities in the region because it had this great harbor for boats to come and dock in. So really, Pompeii had everything a city needed: good soil for farming, a harbor for boats, and a comfortable climate for the people to live. If you look here at this map, you can see the location of Pompeii, as I said, just a little bit south of Rome in the boot of Italy. The other recreated picture shows you what the volcano might have looked like in ancient times, much bigger than it looks today, of course, because so much of the volcano was destroyed by its eruption in 79 AD. You may also notice that the city of Pompeii has a wall all the way around the exterior of the city. This is a protective wall to help protect the city from invasion or from any other forces. You can also see in this region, you can also see in this region over here, the harbor that allowed those boats to come in and trade and bring goods and take goods from the city of Pompeii. This is an overview of the excavated ruins at Pompeii if you were to visit today. You may notice that large portions of the map are blank in the sense that they don't show the walls of the buildings here, here, and here. That's because about a third of the excavated site, or a third of the archaeological site at Pompeii, is still unexcavated. That means that they have not yet dug up the ruins in those areas. And that's partly due to a lack of funding for the archaeological excavations, but it's also due to the fact that historians are purposefully leaving parts of Pompeii unexcavated so that in the future, as archaeological techniques improve, people can excavate and discover new things about the city, because we're always learning new ways to investigate and new ways to excavate with less disruption, less destruction, and disturbance to the area so that we can learn more and more. Let's take a look at some of the places in Pompeii. If we zoom in on the map a little bit here, you will notice the house that I have put a star around over here is the location of Caecilius' house. So our characters in our textbook are in fact based on real historical Pompeians who lived in the city. And Caecilius in particular is based on a Pompeian banker called Caecilius. And this was his house in the city of Pompeii. Some other important areas that we'll be visiting throughout our look at the city of Pompeii. In the large orange circle, you will notice, in the large orange circle, you will notice the Forum of Pompeii. This is the most important area of Pompeii and the area where business, religion, politics all came together to be the city center of Pompeii. Down here in the blue circle, you'll notice the harbor where boats could dock and where trade would happen for the city. Over here in the purple circle, you'll notice there are in fact two theaters in Pompeii, one here and one here, where plays were put on for entertainment of the people of the city. Caecilius's house you can still see up here in the red star. And then our green circle features one of the baths at Pompeii, where Romans could go to get clean, socialize with their friends, exercise, and in general enjoy the atmosphere of the baths. We've moved just a little bit to the side on our map here. You can still see Caecilius's house in the corner and the theaters in the bottom. But I want to draw your attention especially to the amphitheater and the Palaestra. The Palaestra is in the purple circle, and that's the exercise grounds where athletic competitions might take place, and also the orange circle around the amphitheater. This was an area for gladiatorial combat, where gladiators would fight each other for the entertainment of the Pompeian people. And as you can see, it's quite large. So it would have been able to accommodate a good number of Pompeians to come and view the gladiators. The long street down which I've put a long red arrow is sometimes called the Street of Shops. And it's where lots of shops and stores were located, and Pompeians could go to do their shopping. Here are some pictures of the actual ruins of the city of Pompeii for some of the areas we just looked at. Here you can see the Forum. Unfortunately, the ruins are pretty extensive here. There's not a lot remaining, but you can see the large open space that was the main business area of the Forum, the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus at the top, and then a variety of other important business buildings around the outside, which we'll be getting into more at a later date. Here you can see a picture of one of the theaters at Pompeii, the larger theater, with a stage here at the front and seats for the people of Pompeii around the sides. The arena or the amphitheater for gladiatorial combat. And an interesting shop within the street of shops, a bakery. You can see in this shop a few different features. Here you can see the oven where the bread would have been baked or whatever baked goods they were making. And these interesting stone mechanisms here are mills for grinding the grain. So in this space between the two large stones, wheat or other grain would have been placed. And then from these holes right here, there would have been long beams of wood, and donkeys or other animals would be tied to those beams, and they would turn the millstone, which would grind the grain underneath the mill to produce flour, which could then be baked into bread in these ovens. So the bakery was really a full-service location, grinding its own flour and baking bread for the Pompeians. And here you can see a screen of Caecilius's house. This is the main entranceway, or the main atrium, I should say, into Caecilius's house. Here you can see in the front the impluvium, where rainwater would have been collected for the household, the tablinum, or study, where Caecilius would have conducted his business, and the view into the garden, or hortus, at the back of the house. Enjoy exploring the rest of the city of Pompeii as we move through this chapter.